Okay, now it's that time in our Friday show where T and I pick a topic and we dive in. We're talking Chrissy Teigen, Twitter, and trolls in today's TNT Chat. Okay, T, not long ago, Chrissy Teigen, who's been referred to as the queen of Twitter for her witty observations, her cutting clapbacks, quit Twitter. She said she was leaving the platform because it no longer served her as positively as it served her negatively. First of all, were you surprised at all by this?
No, not really. To be honest, a lot of celebrities are leaving social media, but I'm really not surprised at all, Trace. Are you?
Nope. The clapback queen part, you and I have talked about this before. I'll do like 2-3 good clapbacks in a year. Like, it's not what I do regularly on my page. Somehow, people will say to me, T, I love following you because you do good clapbacks. So even if it's not the majority of what I'm doing, there's this perception of, Tracy, you clap back. In reality, you know who I am. I'm soft. I'm like a lawn chair. I fold. Like, I get sad before I even get angry. So I think it's interesting that we have this perception of people and people like sort of Chrissy Teigen, who has been brilliant on Twitter. I'm not a big fan, but I see her tweets. And then hearing that she's hurting. She's hurting. And so I wanted to talk about this process of getting the hate. Because the bigger you are, the more hate you get, the more controversial you are, the more hate you get, and how you process it, and if there's any way around it, particularly as a woman on social media. So T, let's say you get a hater, and you don't get a lot of them. Let's say you get someone chirping in your comments, saying something rude. What is your process? Do you immediately say, you're an idiot, I don't care about you, or do you go through a different process when you see that?
There are some days, I put my boxing gloves on and I'm like, let's go. And I go back and forth with them. Some days, some days because I'm like, maybe I'm in the mood to get into an argument today. But I will be honest, I've been hurt by comments that people have said. But I usually, whether it's life or on social media, I usually only get hurt by the comments that I actually believe deep down as well. Yeah. So if someone says something to me that I don't believe, I don't even really care. I'm like, that person's an idiot. I don't really care what they think. But if it's something deep down that I believe about myself or I really believe it's true, and then that person calls it out, it's like I feel naked, like I feel seen. You know what I mean? It's that insecurity that you have and somebody else sees it and echoes it back to you. You're like, no, I feel exposed. Everybody knows that thing's wrong with me. We've had these conversations about days that we've had that were going very well, and then you go on social media and then it ruins your day. What's your process, T?
Well, I wish I had that whole idea of you don't have the right reflection of me, therefore let me just discredit everything you're saying. Like, I don't have that. I have to go through this sort of questioning of, okay, did I overstep my bounds? Have I been insensitive here? Or is this person just a jerk? And I wish I didn't go through that process. Like I said in a podcast last year, some people get angry and I admire that because I get sad. And I hate that that is my first step before I get to the next steps. So I wanted to read something to you, T, because it's a woman named Kimberly Foster, who I love on Instagram. She is, just a big voice in the Black communities in the United States. And this is what she says about women online. She says, if you're a woman with very strong opinions on the internet, if you critique systems of power, if you point to structural inequality, instead of blaming all of our problems on our individual failings, then people are going to come at you crazy. They're going to call you bitter. They're going to call you lonely. They're going to call you ugly. And it doesn't matter what you actually look like, to be honest. It is coming. And ugly is the insult leveled most often because there is an idea that if you fail to deliver an easily consumable beauty, that you failed as a woman. And I love that she broke that down because people think I'm going to call you fat, I'm going to call you ugly, I'm going to try and take you out at the knees because as a woman, you should care about this stuff. And I think that that's the stuff we need to fly above and sort of discredit right away.
I always think of what my mom always says. My mom always says, like, well, what did you expect when you posted something of yourself? And I think that we have to keep that in mind, that there really are no rules to social media other than obviously you can't threaten harm to people. But when you post something, we must keep in mind that people are going to comment. That is the whole point of social media. You put out a picture of you and your dog and you think it's a great picture, or I really loved this movie, and somebody else critiques you and tells you you're an idiot. You have to understand that that's what comes with social media. It's a back and forth thing.
I so agree with what your mom says, and I so agree that people won't always say that's a pretty dress, but that's all I want to see. So I'll just leave it on that. Just tell me it's a pretty dress or it's a cute dog, and have it, and let's call it a day. Can we do that? Is that a deal?
Tell me I'm pretty.
Just tell me I'm pretty. That's it. Thank you.